Welcome to another episode of Game Boy Roulette, where we take a look at randomly chosen games from the Game Boy library. Revelations Demon Slayer, the lesser-known book in the Bible. Actually, it's funny I mentioned the Bible, because in Japan this game was called Last Bible. It also had another part of the name, but we'll get to that later. Revelations Demon Slayer was a turn-based RPG brought to us by Atlus, makers of a variety of extremely popular and sometimes extremely weird games. It was developed by Multimedia Intelligence Transfer, a company that worked exclusively with Atlus, and was released for Game Boy in 1992, but only in Japan under the Last Bible name. It eventually did make it to the US, but not until 7 years later on the Game Boy Color, now with the title Revelations Demon Slayer. But all of that is just build up to the big reveal, and that's the first half of the title in Japan, Megami Tensei Gaiden. Oh yes, this little RPG is a part of the long-running Megami Tensei series, a franchise that has spawned numerous games and equally numerous spin-offs, including the Persona games. But Megami Tensei Gaiden Last Bible took the franchise in a new direction. They wanted to appeal more towards kids, so they toned a lot of aspects of the game down and turned it into a more basic RPG to hopefully bring in a wider audience. But that's always a risk with a franchise. Trying for mass appeal can always backfire and water down a game into something bland. Not to mention, this is the only game in the Megami Tensei Gaiden series to have been released in the US, so clearly something went awry somewhere. It certainly can't be the box art, which is a lovely piece of RPG art. I've always enjoyed boxes like this one that just show off a bunch of characters and monsters. So simple, but so beautiful. By the way, a worst game of rock, paper, scissors ever. Did this spin-off succeed or flop? Grab a cross for Revelations Demon Slayer. Revelations the Demon Slayer. Oh god, my eyes. Oh god. I'm guessing that's an emulator thing. Maybe. Revelations the Demon Slayer. I've seen it as both Revelations Demon Slayer and Revelations the Demon Slayer. Shouldn't be a big deal. Story of verses? No, I want to do the story. Let's jump right into this. Long ago, before human beings existed, telepathy, teleportation, telekinesis, powers that only gods could harness. Gods, ooh, named this power Gaia. That's uncreative. I think half of RPGs ever use that word. This is the beginning of tragedy. Oh. Well, shoot, I don't want that. Oh my god, I'm starting the game not in bed for once. Game looks alright so far. Please accept this as a gift from me. Put it on your equipment. It is a sword. Can I take stuff from you? I can. I'll take your mail. Oh, what? Oh, weird. Okay, so you have to, like, if I'm holding the button and I try to move in a new direction, it keeps me going for an extra tile. It's like I'm on ice physics for an RPG. Well, that's problematic, but let's equip my stuff. Michael and Lucifer? Hi. Can I have the monkey? This is the only unlabeled house. Oh my god. How do you mess up the controls for a grid-based RPG like this? It's not good, somehow. So far, it seems like every other RPG you've ever played. Not necessarily bad so far? Obviously, I'm just walking around. I have to get to the combat, but, like, it's very generic. Please take these kids to Mount Palo. Okay. Oh. The Flots arrived. Let's go. Oh yeah, very standard RPG. Whoa. Slime and Hecate. Talk? Oh, right! Right! Some of the Megami Tensei games, you could, like, talk to monsters. I'm gonna talk to Hecate. I'm saved. If you want to talk to me, would you please lower your weapon? Things have been chaotic lately, I agree. Peaceful world is merely a dream. No, I am not a messiah. Oh, shoot. I also looked up, apparently there are ways to fuse monsters together. Again, all par for the course for the Megami Tensei series. Are you the one who's going around killing monsters? No? So yeah, it's an interesting mechanic where you have to negotiate with the monsters. So far, the game, like I said, is pretty standard. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the Game Boy Color version immediately. And I want to look up some of these negotiations, because I do want to recruit someone. Let's see how the world looks. Pretty alright. I wouldn't call these amazing graphics. amazing colorization, but it's okay. We got Spider. Who's going to talk? I will. Wait, what type are you? Okay, there's like a whole guide for monster recruiting here. It also points out that you don't have to recruit any monsters to beat the game, it's just helpful. So you want me to join you? It's type 1, no. Are you teasing me? No. Why don't you just come out and say it? My guy's nothing compared to your guy. Yes. You're probably right. You have confidence in Gaia? No. But, okay, so to recruit them, you need to know their type. So I'm just gonna really quickly put on screen. This is the guide, but it doesn't really explain what the different types are, unfortunately. Wait, it does for some of them. Hecate is type 3. Yes. Negotiation successful! Hecate joined your party, yeah! Tell me about yourself, Hecate. Hecate is now in the party. Hecate, yeah. I'm not about to say this is a bad game. No, I'm having fun here. The only problem I'm having is that it is painfully generic, I guess. And that's the weirdest thing that a Megami Tensei game can be. Because the Megami Tensei games are, like, really over the top and weird, and this one is, I don't know, kind of standard. Hecate has attacked Hecate. So it's just, being able to recruit monsters is just a fun way to sort of increase your party. Whoa, I need you on my team. Yeah, welcome to the team, Baku. Oh my god, these monster designs are cool. Alright, now I'm starting to feel a little more Megami Tensei style with the weird monsters. I am enjoying this game, but if you're looking for the kind of game that's like super mind-blowing and different, this one just feels, you can tell that they tried to dumb it down a lot. I don't necessarily think dumbing down a game to make it more accessible is a bad thing, depending on what game it is, but I think a little more complexity and a little more, I don't know, giving it more of its own identity would be nice, because right now, I feel like I've played this game 100 times before. Although maybe not with as many ice physics. How do you mess up walking on tiles? I always forget there's a third option besides succeeding or flopping, decently existing. As an RPG, Revelation's Demon Slayer is totally fine, but unlike some of the other RPGs we've seen on Game Boy Roulette, something felt a bit off here, and after thinking about it, I know exactly what it is. But onto the good, and there is plenty of it. The graphics were good, the music was nice, and most importantly, the gameplay was rock solid, the odd ice physics notwithstanding. The combat mechanics were simple but intuitive, and I loved the idea of being able to recruit monsters by talking to them. It adds a fun twist to building your party, and from my research, the game has a good length and adds in new mechanics, like monster fusing, that gives it some more depth. So all in all, a perfectly acceptable handheld RPG. But here's where we get to the nagging problem. It's hard to ignore the fact that this game is dated. See, it first came out in Japan in 1992, but it didn't hit the US shelves until 1999. In those 7 years, RPGs had evolved a lot, leaving this game feeling like a relic of a bygone time. Take the monster recruiting mechanic. It's a good idea, but the fact that every monster has 4 yes or no questions to answer means recruiting comes down to a guessing game you have to do over and over until you learn the correct pattern. That doesn't make this a bad game at all, but it also means that due to so many other games surpassing it, it didn't grab me like other RPGs have, like Azure Dreams or Dragon Warrior Monsters. If you're into old school RPGs, there are certainly worse games to play, and especially if you like the Megami Tensei series, it's fun to check out one of the franchise's first forays into the world of handheld gaming. But if you're looking for something a bit more modern with more complexity, there's also much better options out there. And there are certainly games with better movement. Seriously, ice physics in an RPG, how do you mess that up? And that's all for another episode of Game Boy Roulette. Make sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe to follow the series as we continue to dig through the Game Boy vault. I'm TheBrianJ, and I'll see you next time.